probably know someone who has an outstanding student loan. And it might even be you. There are more than 44 million borrowers in the process of repayment right now.
Well, the government has proposed new plans for student loans, and Richmond Money expert Bryan is here with what you need to know about those potential changes. Hi, JB.
Hi, Cheryl. There is so much going on, and I want to make sure that I say, before I say anything else, if you want to know everything about tax benefits, tax credits, and everything for your school expenses, get the IRS publication 970. Get it. Because sometimes we start talking and I forget. I'm like, I'm going to tell them at the beginning, get the publication so that anything that I say now, we only have a few minutes. So everyone at home, don't depend on your financial advisor to know all of the ins and outs about these tax law changes. But one thing that may not be included in that publication is that now the totally disabled and permanently and totally disabled person who does have their loan forgiven because they become disabled and permanently, that they actually do not have to pay federal taxation on the forgiven amount anymore. It used to be a taxable event, but effective immediately, they do not have to pay the federal income taxes on that.
I didn't realize that loans could be forgiven for things like disability, and I'm assuming there are other things that happen in your life that can get you loan forgiven.
I'm glad you said that because that's federal. We're talking about federal loans where private loans, private educational loans have become very popular. I remember as I was finishing undergrad, all of a sudden there was a movement towards the PLUS loan and the different types of private loans. But when we're speaking specifically about federal law, the current administration changes in the laws that impact their federal loans.
Okay, so federal loans,
federal
not private
loans. That's
loans.
right.
Okay.
That's right. Because
So
there's someone out there.
there.
That's right.
All right, so we got lots of different kinds of loans, and the federal loans, they're changing them all the time. And some of them are going to be better situations, some of them are going to be worse situations.
That's right.
As time goes on.
That's
let's
right.
talk about public service loan forgiveness. Is that one of the things we're talking about?
No, because what we were talking about was being forgiven because of a life change, a disability.
Yeah.
But the public service loan forgiveness is if you pay your loan, your federal loan, for 10 years on time, and you qualify, if you have a job that qualifies as a public service job, then you have to make sure that your job qualifies, first of all. Excuse me, you think that I'm at a certain nonprofit and it will qualify. No, make sure you find out that you're at a qualifying job. You get in the program and you pay according to what's promised, that particular amount based on your income at that time. And then you can actually, after the 120 payments, which is 10 years, you can have the balance forgiven.
So in 10 years then, for a lot of folks, is just the beginning. I mean, these student loans can go on forever almost.
Scary to think about that, but it is true. And, because when I first discovered that program, and I said 10 years, that's a lot of payments for a long time though. It would be interesting if we could talk to Congress about maybe having your first 10 years forgiven in the payment. So that when you start, then you get a little bit later, but you have to actually upfront make sure that you're doing that and do it on time. So make a commitment, and it also protects your credit, during those first 10 years of your career as well. But investigate it. And it doesn't mean that you have to stay at the same job. It just means that if you change jobs and you're in the program, make sure that that job is covered in the program as well.
Right. We talk about the burden that the student loans cause for a lot of people, and some people end up filing bankruptcy. So what's the difference between, or actually what's the relationship between bankruptcy and paying off your student loan?
Yeah, right now they're divorced. They have no relationship. They're estranged. It's very complicated. But now the Department of Education is taking steps that they want to discover what they can do to define a hardship so that the bankruptcy courts will feel more comfortable including the school loans in the bankruptcy process. And that's really where the private loans really come into play, because they're going to be a lot more aggressive about you not being able to include them in the bankruptcy court. So you need to make sure that what is the criteria, under what situation can I not pay this loan back, because right now they're not included in a bankruptcy.
So that stays on the books.
And
even if you
it
file
may be
bankruptcy.
changing. Yeah, it's going to stay. Yeah, that'll be left out of your bankruptcy agreement. So you want to make sure that you understand that it's like tax. It has to be. The federal loan, and in most cases a private loan, is not included in the bankruptcy courts. So, but that's changing. So that's one bit of good news, that talk to your local politician about forgiveness and bankruptcy when it comes to school loans, because bad things do happen to good people.
Yeah. All right, I want to
sometimes.
circle back to your very first statement about what was the name of the publication from the IRS that we need
Thank
to look
you. 970.
So IRS form number
970. That's right. And then there also, if you want to take advantage of the other lifetime tax credit and the Americans Opportunity tax credits that are associated with education, make sure that you find out which tax forms you have to attach to your tax return, because a change effective this year is that you can't itemize, because we have the double standard deduction now, so less things are included in your itemization on your tax return.
It's going to be an interesting tax year.
Yeah, but it's going to be a lot easier. It really should be. To everyone at home, that you should be taking advantage of the ease of tax preparation now. Just get the details.
I like the idea of not starting paying back until 10 or 15 years.
You like that one? I'm running for president.
If you'll throw in, we can start our retirement at 20 and start working at 50. Then you will be president.
Thank you, JB. JB Bryan offers money seminars and webinars every Wednesday and Sunday evening. They are free. You do need to pre-register. You'll find a link to all the details at WTVR.com/VTM, and we will be right back.